On a Thursday. That means it is buddy chat time. How are you guys doing today? How is everybody doing? Let me see if I can pull us up over here. I'm not yet. Come on. All right. I don't know if I'm coming through. I've changed a few things today, so I'm not sure how well it's going to be coming together. So I'm going to give it just a second as I fuss with a few things. Let me roll over here. Where are my papers? Oh, okay. All right, looks like I'm not alone. I just had to get the right scissors. You know how you can't use the right scissors on the wrong thing, right? Got to do it right. All right, I am here and just not all the way. I don't know why. Okay, I always have to remember to do that. All right. All right, we have Mavis and a couple of other people. It's not, remember how I tell you that my phone has to bring it up so I can see your name? It does not bring it up very quickly. I don't know if it's my internet or if it's just being fussy. I may have to do it without. So, oh, come on, really? Really? Hey, Marilyn, how are you doing? How are those knees? It's been 2 weeks and 2 days or something, right? How you doing? Hello, Deidre and Joyce. It's so fun to have you guys here with me. I just feel like this 5 o'clock on Thursdays, especially now that we're trying to get outside and do some things, I still don't have my grass mowed. My battery is dead. Either have to get a new battery or I don't know. And so we're going to have to bale the grass because it's going to be that long. Hey, Patty. Patty says she's new to the group. So you guys give her a warm welcome. And Cheryl has joined us. Do you like my hat? I haven't actually worn it. It kind of bugs me. I want the back to stay glued up. I don't like it rubbing on my neck, but then that's what's going to protect my neck from getting sunburned, right? I don't know. Come on. All right. Maybe I should just give up, huh? I've got some of it coming together. All right, it may not work. So have you guys got flowers planted? If you notice, I posted this morning some new flowers that I just bought. I don't know what I'm going to do with them yet, but I am going to plant them somewhere. I had some ceramic planters on my front porch. I've had them there for 2 years, and I don't bring them in. I just leave them out there. I take the flowers out and I just leave them out there. And by darn, this year they didn't make it. Those planters just, I guess maybe all the snow and the ice got down inside, cracked them. They're crumbling all over the place. Not so much fun at all. Okay, I tell you. I'm sorry. Not working. Okay, it's Mother's Day this weekend. What are y'all up to? Does anybody do anything special for Mother's Day? It wasn't until about a few years ago that I hated Mother's Day. Every year I hated it. You'd go to church and they'd give you a little flower or candy. I hated it. And I liked it when the family would come over, but I really, you'd sit and listen to people talk about mothers and put them on a pedestal, and you never felt like you belonged on that pedestal, right? Did you guys ever feel that way? Because I sure did. And I think it's pretty common that people would feel that way. I may not be able to read your comments, so we're going to just punt right here, I think. But now I've decided I don't really care. They can say what they want, think what they want, but I'm doing the best I can. And so it's only been this way for a few years because I think it's okay. Well, my husband came home a few minutes ago, and he came up, and I was working, and I was really intense on something. I had actually lost a pattern, and I couldn't find it. And I was searching my computer. I needed it. I had to have it. And I was searching. I couldn't find it. I texted my daughter, and I said, can you help me? Because she's the one that kind of helped me set up a lot of things. And he comes up, and he said, I've got something to show you. I thought, what's he going to show me? And I said, just give me 5 minutes. And then I started getting back in, looking for what I had to find. I still couldn't find it. And I finally realized he's going to stand there until I come see what he got. He said, is that in my truck? I says, oh, okay. So I just kind of set things aside. I go out there, and on the way down the stairs, I thought, he wants me to come. I hope you guys are going to laugh with me. I thought, he wants me to come with him because he got me a Mother's Day present, and he's got it in the truck, and he wants to surprise me, right? This is what I was thinking. I thought, oh, how sweet. I mean, what a great guy. And so I get out to the truck, and this is what I'm thinking all the way down the stairs. And we get out to the garage, and he opens his truck, and he starts pulling out this giant box. And I thought, what did he get? Like, what is it I need? But I'm being very positive and thinking, oh, I'm just going to be so nice, right? And darn it all if he doesn't pull out a large screen television. I'm thinking, okay, that's nice. We already have a TV. Anyway, he won a TV in a drawing at one of his vendors. That he's in construction, and so he just went to a vendor luncheon today, and he won this TV in the drawing. It wasn't for me. So how do you guys do Mother's Day? I want to hear. I'm not going to be able to see who you are because my phone's not going to kick in. So I can watch the comments on my computer. I just can't tell who's saying it. Darn it all. I'm going to have to, it's a brand new phone. Well, relatively new. I think it's a 13. And that's not a bad phone. And I got the giant size. So it's like an iPad in my pocket. I have the giant size because I have to be able to read it. I'm no spring chicken, you know? That's the only way I can do it. Oh, you thought it was going to be a chicken, Mavis? He wants to go get another spot. I have to tell you, yesterday affected me so much. I couldn't eat. And when I was I was hungry. And my stomach was growling, and I couldn't eat. And every time I'd go out to the coop, I'd have to pass by her because we hadn't buried her yet. And it was really hard. And I don't like dead things very much. And especially if it's something that's, kind of special to you. So I couldn't eat. And I fixed supper for Larry. I still couldn't eat. We'd buried her. I still couldn't eat. It just kind of made me sick. I just couldn't do that. And I fixed supper for Larry, and I sat down next to him and watched him eat. And I thought, I think I've got some potato chips in the pantry. So I went and got a bag of potato chips. And I thought, I can eat the potato chips. So I did eat. I just didn't eat food. And he was having mashed potatoes and turkey steaks and asparagus and hamburger gravy, if you know what that is, on the potatoes, which I love, but I thought it just kind of turned my stomach. I couldn't do it. Okay, I have to say someone because I don't know who you are, and I really apologize for that. Someone said her husband doesn't buy me Mother's Day he says I'm not his mother. Yeah, that's a good excuse. Okay, come on, really? You're not his mother. Well, you bore his children, correct? Now, we have some guys that join us sometimes. Where's Larry Dogstater? I want to hear what he does. I know that he's got a mom that lives very near him. Oh, so that's Valerie. That must be Valerie. She says, we had Mother's Day here in the UK in March. Wow. So you don't wait till the flowers come up. Do you remember when your kids were little and they just walk home from school and they just pick you a few dandelions and say, Mom, I got these for you. And you say, oh, I love them, because we do love them. Yep, I figured that. If you're going to talk about the UK, Valerie, it has to be you, Valerie. Has to be you. All right. Anybody else have any good Mother's Day stuff? I'm going to keep watching the computer over there because it's going to pull it up for me. My phone is not cooperating at all. I don't know what the deal is. I put it on silent and I put it on do not disturb. Otherwise, I will get phone calls or texts right in the middle. And maybe that's affected it. I don't know. Oh, well. Oh, well, we'll carry on. Okay. I guess nobody else celebrates Mother's Day, right? Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Okay, I want to talk. I told you I wanted you to be ready for the classes that we have coming up next week and the one in June. If you remember, it's a Bloomin' Day is next week. And this is such a fun thing to do. It'd be fun to sew with your daughters if you have a daughter that likes to sew. This could be a project you could do together. I always like to see that mother and daughter do things. I think that's really fun. Or grandmother and granddaughter, or, get 3 generations in there. But you could sew this together at the same time and just enjoy each other's company. It would be like a sewing retreat just with you guys. And when I have these classes, I'm always hoping that when you come, that you already have your fabrics cut out and ready to sew. Because cutting out sometimes can just take too much time. And it's just time that you're just going to be sitting there, right? Well, this one also has the applique. And I want you to know the next project is not going to have applique, because here we've got 2 projects together with applique. But I guess I wanted you to see that you could do it on a serger and you could do it on a sewing machine. Either way, applique can be done just a little different way. Remember how you have the crock pot and the Instapot? You can make the same meals, just have to adjust the recipe. And that's what I've done here. I just wanted you to see that you could do much the same things with different machines. I mean, we're not even doing embroidery on this. And I think that's pretty darn cool. Okay, let's try this again. Not going to work. All right, so when you come to the class, either one or any of them, I hope that you have your fabrics already prepped, cut out, labeled, do whatever you need to do with them so that you'll know what pieces they are. Because when we start to sew, we really just want to sew, right? You just want to put them together. I know that there was one project that I did. I don't remember exactly what it was, but cutting it out was 5 hours. 5 hours of just cutting it out, creating your pieces, doing whatever you have to do. And I know these aren't going to take that long, but the applique pieces, when you're preparing them, it does take a while. So if you're in the class and we're all sewing and you're still prepping your pieces and trying to decide what fabrics to make this out of is sometimes the more difficult part, because you've got to pick all those colors. But if you have that already done, then it's a walk in the park after that. All right, so let's go down here. Okay, I will need to bring the computer a little closer. I haven't got it all blown up. Hang on just a sec. All right, I don't know who's talking. I wish I did. It says, my husband and I never had any children, and both our mothers are not with us anymore. But my sister's 3 children and spouses always do something. And we lived in the same state, and they took us out to dinner and more. And now that we are spread all over. They still remember us with cards. That is so sweet. I have noticed that it's not just for mothers because you know what? We're all raising all these little people. If you're a school teacher, you have all those kids you raise. It really doesn't matter. I think it's the female bond. I think that we're able to have those motherly instincts, whether we have children or not. Although children really are, they should say Happy Mother's Day. But there are just so many children that you can claim to be yours. I know that some of my kids' friends, several of them called me Marbra because it was Mother and Barbara together. It was Marbra. And I thought that was kind of cute because the influence that you have on people around you is amazing, I think. All right. I love that. I love it. Love it. Love it. Okay, let's get on with what we're doing here. Unless you have any comments or questions, I don't see any. And of course, my phone's not working. I'm going to just put it in timeout because I'm mad at it. All right, so we're going to go down here. When you receive the pattern for this right here, this is what you'll have. You've got all of these shapes you need to cut out, all right? But here is how you do it. You are going to trace them. These are the shapes that you'll receive. So what you'll do is you'll have some heat and bond right here. And this is just done in pencil, so it's a little hard for you to see up there. You'll just trace these shapes. This is right here. And I just rough cut around them. Of course, I'm going to use my paper scissors. And you got the bumpy side on this side, and you got the paper side on this side. I'm just going to do a rough cut around them. I'm not really being too particular. Oh, it's so quiet. I usually have music blaring all day long. So when I stop and do these lives, I have to turn the music off because then you would not hear anything if I didn't. All right, so I have these shapes cut out, and it says right there to cut 2 of them. And not always, because you can really do what you want. If you want to have more of something, less of something, then it's your project. So I'm going to set this aside, but I want you to see right here what I'm aiming for. So right here is where I have these shapes right there. And if you'll notice up here, I have decided to use pinking shears to cut those out. And that's what I probably will do that again. And I want to thank all of you that have signed up for that serger class. I'm really excited. All right, so here's another thing that you gotta remember, because I have done this wrong before. As you can see, I have all of my other shapes already. You see how I just used scraps of fabric. This was just strips, and I thought, oh, I can use that. But you've got to iron the shape on the wrong side of the fabric. Otherwise, it's not going to work. You're going to be gluing the wrong side down. And I have all of these shapes put together. And this one right here, you can see that this was something I had sewn together previously. I made that into my boxer shorts. No, they're not boxers, they're shorts. And then here's my hanger, and there's my scissors, and there's a spool of thread, and then there's my big centerpiece. But you've got to iron it onto the wrong side. If you don't, then you're going to have to redo it because you really can't peel it off and use it again because it makes it all shiny. All right, so I've got my wrong side of fabric right here. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm going to iron one right there, and I'm going to iron one on the yellow because I want them to be different colors. And I usually like to preserve my fabric as much as I can because I'll no doubt use these for something else. So maybe I'll put them in the corner like that. All right, and all I have to do is put my iron down and let it sit for just a minute so it can melt all that glue. So do you guys listen to music while you work, while you sew, while you do whatever you do? Does anybody listen to the music? Or I know I was in an office environment one time, and I like to listen to music, so I'd have the music playing, and by darn, if somebody didn't come in and just turn it off. And I'm thinking, well, what happened? That was the music. All right, so you can see that I rough cut around the shape. I traced the shapes on exact and rough cut around them. And it wasn't hard to trace the shapes onto the heat and bond because you can kind of see through it. So it's really not an issue. And now what I'm going to do is cut right on the shape. I'm going to get a different pair of scissors that will do a better job. And now I'm going to cut right on the shape. And I think we're kind of spoiled with, I can't say her name out loud, or she'll start playing. We can't get spoiled because we can have any kind of music right at our fingertips. Okay, there's one shape that's all ready to go. That's all I had to do. She is ready. All right, so to get that paper off the back, you can sit and fuss with it and fight with it, but here's what you do. You bend it over onto the paper side and see what happens? The fabric sticks up. The paper peels off, and there I go. I've got this one ready to go. And now I'm going to do the same with this one. And when you're tracing these on, sometimes that bumpy paper makes it look kind of funny when you've got it all traced on there, but you can make those corrections as you cut it out if you don't like how it looks. Okay, there's my two shapes right there. I'm going to fold it over and peel it off. Now this one is ready to go. And I have two shapes that are ready to go. And I'm going to put them on my project. All right, does anybody have any questions? Because that's kind of easy, right? There's just a lot of shapes that you'll need to cut out. And when you start doing this one, which is next week, you've got a lot of flowers. And on this one especially, you can choose how many flowers that you want to do. You don't have to do exactly like the pattern. You can choose what you want to do. I do want to mention that this heart that I have put on down here, this is done with felt. The heat and bond really doesn't work with felt very well. So all I did was cut out the shape, and I kind of used glue stick just to keep it in the right spot when I sewed it down. All right, that's what I did. Okay, so who's excited about sewing some flowers instead of planting them? These will last a lot longer, and you don't have to water them or weed them. They're just there, right? Okay, somebody listens to YouTube or TV or nothing. Sewable heat and bond. I guess I use heat and bond light. It's the purple one. And that's the only kind I've used. So when you say sewable, the non-sew one, I'm sure it has to be sewable. Oh, somebody else listens to television. Somebody else does audiobooks. Pandora for you. The name of the class. All right. So this class is called It's a Bloomin' Day. That's the one that's going to be next Thursday. And I try to find different techniques so that you can just learn something new. And this one is for Ready, Set, Surge, and this one's in June. So we have a little bit more time for this one. And I know I talked to Gail. Gail just bought herself a Triumph, so I think she's going to be in that class. And darn, if you can't make it that day, I understand, because we are so busy. And that's a Thursday at 10 o'clock, and it's going to, this class next week, it's going to be a few hours long, right? I know if you can't make it, or maybe if you can only make part of it, that's okay, because you will get the recording probably that night. And let me tell you how all that works. I'm going to take this off so I can hear. That's my lawnmower mowing hat, so all that fuzz doesn't get in my hair when I mow the grass. Okay, so when you purchase a class, you go on, you make the purchase, right? And then you get an email telling you that you have 24 hours to open it and download the files or whatever you want to do with it. If you don't open it that 24 hours, the link is gone. And the reason that, I mean, it's automatic on the website. I don't even do that. The reason it does that is to help it from being emailed out to a million people. So once you purchase it, it's really just for you. It's not for you to share with other people or with your quilt group or whatever. And that's why they have those measures set up. So in that 24 hours, you really need to go in and open it because you just purchased it, right? And you'll get the email almost immediately. It will have a link. It will give you a welcome letter. And in that welcome letter has the link to the class and a link to the files. Now, the link to the files is where you will find the pattern and the templates, okay? And also in there will be, that same welcome letter will be a file within the files. So if you don't remember where the welcome letter is, then it's still going to be in those files. You'll find it, and that's where the class link is going to be also on that same page. All right, so that's all you have to do. And let me think of what else. Okay, and then you're going to download the pattern, and you're going to get all of your fabrics prepped and ready to go so that we can just open it up and start sewing that day. And probably about 10 minutes before the class starts is when I will open up the Zoom. Not that we're going to start sewing then, but we'll chat. If there's questions that you might have, then I will be happy to answer them. And also, I was going somewhere with that. I forgot where I was going. Oh, if you will please give a try of the link, like at least the day before the class, because once the class starts, I can't help you with the links because I'll be in the class. All right, so you'll need to make sure that link works for you, okay? And then we will just start sewing that day and we will finish it up and you will love it. Are there any questions? I'm going to have to look over here. Yeah, if you're going to have donuts, you're going to have to bring them. I know that's mean, but that's what we're going to do. And if you need to take breaks, if you need to leave in the middle of it, that's okay. If you can't come into the middle of it, that's okay. If you can't come at all, because I know that several people have already contacted me and said that they really want the class, but they can't be there that day, that's okay. If you can't be there that day, you will still get the recording. It will come to you probably within a couple of hours after the class ends. What I have to do is once the class ends, the computer will render it and put it all together. And then as soon as it renders, I will put it in the same file where you found your pattern. So you don't even have to, I won't send you another email. It will just go right into that same file and you'll see it. It'll say recording or whatever. It will say that so that you'll know that's what it is. You can see it's a recorded file rather than a PDF file. Are there any questions on that? Class names, please. Did you really have an earthquake? I'm serious. Did you have an earthquake? And where are you if you had that? Dang. I do not like earthquakes. They're scary to me. Even if a truck drives by, I think we're having an earthquake. Sorry. This one is called It's a Bloomin' Day. You had an earthquake in Sacramento? Wow, I am so sorry. How big was it? How long did it last? And are you okay? Earthquakes are scary. I know that. All right, I've been in some earthquakes and they are scary. In fact, you know we're not that far from Yellowstone right here. And Yellowstone has earthquakes all the time. But there have been a few, even when I was young in the 60s. I was pretty young. There was an earthquake in Yellowstone and we felt it here, and it's real. It can be, imagine what they felt up there, but wow. A 5.4, that is not a small earthquake. Oh, wow. Wow. Okay, it's a bloomin' day. I'm assuming if you're in Sacramento, let's see, who's in Sacramento? Is that Celeste? I wish I could tell who you are. I am so sorry. I feel like I'm being kind of rude. All right, so this one is called Ready, Set, Surge. This is the project. We're going to do 3 projects on this one. 3 projects. It's going to be 2 days. It won't be all day, both days. It's just that we're going to sew 2 smaller projects, which is this one. This is one of the small projects. This is a pincushion with, because you use Wonder Clips all the time when you're serging. So this is to hold your Wonder Clips and some pins and needles if you wanted to. That'll be our opening project. And then this is going to be our second project on the first day. And you are going to put a zipper in with your serger. I'm going to show you another way that we're going to do it, and you're going to love it. All right? I love it already. Okay, and then this is flat lock, and then we're piecing the back of it. So there's a lot of technique you're going to learn. And then this right here, we're going to be doing applique, and we're going to be doing quilting on our serger. And then on the back of it, we have flat lock wave. So that class is called Ready, Set, Surge. Okay? Yep. Oh, Jody, Dara, and Lynette. Really? Are you guys there? Hey, you guys are pretty fun. That is really scary, though. You're in Sacramento. I am happy to hear from you. Now, Lynette, remember I told you got to start making comments because I know that you're there, but I never know that you're there. So you got to say something. I wish right now I could tell who's talking. All right. Any other questions? So you got earthquakes. Right now we have floods. And in the winter we had so much snow. I mean, 3 feet of snow in my backyard for a long time. And now we have floods because all that snow is melting and coming down. And there are mudslides. Thankfully, I'm enough away from the mountains that I'm not going to have a mudslide here. But we have a big reservoir here in the valley. It's called Hiram Dam. And there's a big dam. I read on the news last night, that the dam is not going to be able to hold all the water that's coming in. And I'm thinking, oh, I'm so glad I'm not downstream from that dam, because I'm not. I'm on kind of a flat area with the mountains. The mountains are about a half mile away, so they're not going to affect me. Okay, but I am sorry about that earthquake. I'm going to have to go look it up and read about it. If you've got some articles you can share with us, or do it. 5.4, that is a huge earthquake. That's like halfway to 10, right? But they said every time you go up another number, it like doubles. So 5.4 is not small. So I hope you guys are okay. Are you going to be nervous tonight for all the aftershocks? Or do you think that's an aftershock, or that's a pre-shock? It's not the big one. Okay, sign up for the classes. Thank you, Lynette. Okay, to sign up for the classes is on the website. In fact, after we finish here, I will post both classes on the website or on the Facebook here so that you can see them. I'll do that immediately after this ends. And I would love you to sign up. I'd love you to join me. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, any other questions, comments, or happy Mother's Day to everybody? I hope you do have a wonderful Mother's Day. You know, when I was telling you how Larry took me out because I thought he had a surprise for me in the truck, it wasn't. It was something he won, and it's his TV. It reminded me of a time when my brother was probably around 7, so I was just older than that. And it was his birthday, and it was breakfast. We were sitting around the table having breakfast, and it was the middle of the summer. And my dad got up from the table, and he says, he just excused himself, went out to his truck, and he didn't wrap a present for my brother, but he had a present. This is almost a sad, funny story, okay? So he got the present out of the back of the truck, and it was a little tractor that my brother really loved. He wanted this. but he didn't have anything to wrap it in, so he just took his old, dirty, greasy jacket out of the back of the truck, threw it over the top, just to cover it up. And he came in the house, and he walks in with this dirty, greasy jacket, and he slips the tractor under the bar as he walked in so that Mark did not see what was under the coat. And he put this dirty old coat on my little brother and said, "Happy birthday." And with big tears in his eyes, he said, "Thanks, Dad." So that's kind of sad, kind of a cruel trick, don't you think? And then, of course, he brings the tractor out and gives him the tractor, and he was all excited and happy. And when I share that story and we talk about it, my brother doesn't even remember that day. But I was older. I remember. And I was thinking, that was mean. Yeah. All right. My dad's quite a jokester. So next week, the class is going to be on Thursday. It is going to be at 10 o'clock in the morning Mountain Time. And on the June 9th and 10th is when the Surger class is. That's a Friday and a Saturday, I believe. And it will be at 10 o'clock in the morning also. And I'm thinking the first day, the projects aren't going to take that long. But still, you're still going to be sewing, getting lots of things done. The second day, the project, of course, this one right here, if you'll have all of your pieces ready, it won't take that long to make it. But you need to have your pieces ready. And yes, we will sew until you're finished. And if you have any questions during the class, that's a great time for you to ask them. Even if you can't sew along with us that day, if you have questions, come to the class so you can ask the questions and maybe hear what other people are asking. It might help you think of questions that you might have. And if you print the pattern off, then you have a place to take notes, because maybe I didn't say things the way you wanted them said, or maybe you needed more clarification. And as we do the class, that clarification will come. Okay? I can't wait. It's going to be fun. I'm really excited because it's been a while since I've had a live class. It's been kind of busy. And I want you to know that I'm working on 3 more classes, and they'll be up very soon too. All right? And I want to tell you another thing that I'm working on that I'm not prepared for it yet. But if you've got to do Surger, I want to do a Surger lab where we just come together for a couple of hours. I'll have a small project, and then you can ask questions of me, of anybody else in the class. We're just going to get whatever answers you need for that day. So if you're having trouble with anything, let's talk, because I want you to love your Surger, right? I'll love them. Gotta love them. Okay, everybody, are there any questions? Let me see. Are you still live? Just looked at the time. Yeah, I'm still live. I can't tell who you are, though. I apologize. The Surger lab does sound great. Yes, I'm really excited about it. A fun lab, Lynette. Thank you, Lynette, for telling me who you are. Yeah, I want to do a lab, because how many times do you start making a project and you think, I don't understand that? Explain it to me one more time. Even though, this will not be a day to learn your machine. This is a day after you have learned your machine, but you might still have some questions. Okay, so we are not going to go through the machine top to bottom. We're not going to go through every stitch like we do in the owner's classes. If you want an owner's class, take that first. All right? And I've got owner's classes on my website for the Victory, the Celebrate, the Accolade, the Triumph, and then just overall basic Surgers. And I want to clarify too, I have classes that are specific for the Triumph and the Accolade and the Celebrate and the Victory. There's another set of classes that says Surgers Basics 1 and Beyond the Basics number 2. Those are just for maybe other Surgers. Or if you've got a Triumph class, take the Triumph. If you got a Victory, take the Victory class. Those other 2 classes are just kind of open wide, more general. And if you want specifics on your machine, take the specific machine class. Okay? All right. Hi, Alice. I am so sorry I can't tell who anybody is. I feel like I'm kind of in the dark. All right, so right now I'm going to close out and I'm going to post those classes on Facebook so you can find them because I want you there. I want my peeps there. All right. And we will see you then. Have a great Mother's Day this weekend. Enjoy your weekend with your family. Get out and enjoy the sunshine. Be safe because there's a lot of water running around, and apparently in Sacramento you got earthquakes, and you don't want that, right? All right. Bye, everybody.